Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we are taking a look at another fun spice pick in the Master League Classic Edition. Now today we are taking a look at MOLTRES. Now MOLTRES has a very nice moveset, to be 100% honest. It is running Fire Spin as the fast move, and for the charge moves we have the Legacy move Sky Attack and Overheat, which has some incredible nuke potential. I decided to pair it with a Mewtwo on the lead, and we have a Mamoswine as the safe switch to hopefully draw out any Kyogres. So without further ado, let's hop into the battles and let's take a look at MOLTRES in the Master League. Picking up a pretty rough lead versus a Giratina Origin. Unfortunately, I am double weak to Giratina Origin, as MOLTRES really doesn't like to see it either. So I am going to stay in with the Mewtwo. I'm able to land it, and now I bring in the Mamoswine. They decide to throw, which honestly works for me. Totally fine with taking the damage on the Mamoswine, and they bring in a Melmetal. Unfortunately, I do get outpaced here, which is really not what you like to see. Rock Slide is going to be enough to take me out, but on the bright side, we were able to bait out a Melmetal, so my MOLTRES won't have to face it, which is very nice because those Rock Slides doing double super effective damage will not go well for me. Building up, and we go for the Focus Blast. We really need to see a no shield here. Come on. Yes, they no shield. All right, here we go. In comes the Giratina, and we're able to get off a Side Strike. Now the question is, will they let this go or do they shield it? Oh, they let it go! And they have a Charmer in the back. You absolutely love to see it. MOLTRES is here to say, not today, Mr. Togekiss. We are resisting the charm damage. We are able to significantly outpace. We're just going to go straight Sky Attack in this matchup. We do not want to be lowering our attack. They go for the boost, they don't get it, and this game is in fact going to be over. So the opponent saved 2 shields for their Charmer, and MOLTRES disagreed with that decision, as we're able to successfully land the Overheat, and Overheat is going to be doing way more than enough to take out the Togekiss and to give us the win. So right off the bat, as you can see, that is one matchup where MOLTRES is going to do very well. Hopping to the next match against a Dragon Tail Garchomp. So we attempt to throw so they don't get any extra fast moves through. Psy Strike does get the shield. Psy Strike does hit quite hard in neutral matchups, and that's part of why I picked Mewtwo for the lead for this particular squad, is having shield advantage is really, really useful. Now here we do switch into the Mamoswine, and they're able to get off the Sand Tomb, and for whatever reason, CMP is not triggered, which is very, very unfortunate for me. But we have a lot of energy, so we are going to be able to apply a decent amount of pressure to this Snorlax. Now we are going to be going for another Avalanche there. I was pretty sure Avalanche is going to be more efficient than a Bulldoze, just because Bulldoze is a terrible move. Alright, so Body Slam will be taking us out. We come back in with the Mewtwo, and we're just not able to farm down. I'm pretty sure I lived this. So we do survive the Body Slam, and we're able to farm down, and we have the Psy Strike loaded. This is very nice. Psy Strike, they shielded on the Giratina, and now we bring in the MOLTRES, and they bring in the Garchomp, and they're not able to get their Sand Tomb off on us. We win CMP. Sky Attack is going to be taking them out. That's absolutely massive. MOLTRES is very glassy, so not lowering our defense is absolutely crucial. Now this is going to be very tough. They can just go straight Ominous Wind. If they get the boost, this game is going to be over. We go straight for the Sky Attack. Sky Attack does a decent amount, but it is out of range where a Sky Attack will kill. So I'm thinking my only play here is I need to land an Overheat, and then if I'm able to potentially reset my attack debuff, we go for the Overheat, doesn't quite KO, we reset the debuff, and then we're able to Fire Spin down. So MOLTRES able to take out 2 Dragon types and give us the win. Hopping in the next match into a Togekiss lead. This is pretty good. Our whole team does pretty well against Togekiss, so we'll start out by applying a ton of pressure with this Psy Strike. We're able to land it, and now we bring in the MOLTRES, and they're actually staying in. And this works out pretty well for me. I'm definitely going to shield up the Ancient Power. That'll be doing double super effective damage, and they bring out a Dialga. Okay, so we're going to farm all the way up to 100. Little fun fact about MOLTRES, at 100 energy, it can hold a Sky Attack and an Overheat. And how much you want to bet they don't know an Overheat is coming? And Dialga gets absolutely vanquished there. You absolutely love to see it. Oh my goodness. Unfortunately, our attack is lowered, so the Giratina Origin is able to farm us down, but that Dialga got absolutely banished. Oh my goodness. They have a ton of energy. We shield up. It is the Shadow Ball, so we're able to call it correctly, but unfortunately they're going to be able to get to another Shadow Ball here, which does quite a bit of damage, and they do a really nice catch onto their Togekiss. Absolutely fantastic play by my opponent. Unfortunately, they're just going to be able to farm me down, so I'm forced to switch. They're going to be able to Shadow Ball me, and unfortunately, we're not quite able to grab the win. My opponent played really well, but man, overheating that Dialga felt amazing. All right, hopping into the next match, another Togekiss lead. As I mentioned before, this is pretty good for our team. They're going to save swap into Garchomp, and we have Mamoswine. Mamoswine, of course, doing double super effective damage, but because Dragon Tail is an absolutely insane move, the Dragon Tails are doing more damage than the Powder Snows, which is absolutely unreal. We are going for the Avalanche. That does get the shield, and we just get Dragon Tail down. That is absolutely wild. Oh my goodness. All right, we bring in the Mewtwo. We're hoping for a Sand Tomb, and they do Sand Tomb. Can we farm down here potentially? Come on. Oh, we just can't farm down. We can live a Sand Tomb. It's going to be very close, though, and we leave with so much energy loaded. So this Mewtwo is very low, but tons of energy loaded, and they bring in a Giratina. We're going to throw the Side Strike here, and then we have to defer that Shadow Claw onto the Moltres, and now it's up to Moltres to try and close this match. We know they have Togekiss in the back, which Moltres can handle. We've seen it before, and we're able to get the shield. That is very nice. We have to shield this up in case they Shadow Ball. Of course, they Ominous Wind us. Really not great. We're able to get a Fire Spin through as they throw, which is very nice. They go for another Ominous Wind there, and in comes the Togekiss. We're building up as much energy as we can, and now we are going to be going for the Overheat. Goodbye, Togekiss. Again, we can hold an Overheat and a Sky Attack. However, our attack is lowered, so that's not going to be enough to KO. But if you remember, we saved that second Side Strike. We are going to be able to take out the Giratina Origin and get the win. All right, hopping into the next match here, Mewtwo into Melmetal. If we're going to see Melmetal, this is probably the spot we want to see it, because of course we do have Focus Blast, which will absolutely one-shot. They do a very nice job of throwing before I reach the Focus Blast, making sure that they can get some damage off. Here I'm going to build up, and we're going for the Side Strike bait. I am really hoping we can get a shield here, and we do. That's very nice. As the Mewtwo, you really need to bait in this matchup, because Melmetals are a big fan of shielding. We're building all the way up again and going for a second bait. Now, this is pretty risky, but if they shield it, we should be in a good spot, and we get the shield. Now, at this point, I'm fully expecting them to try and catch the Focus Blast. I do want to preserve some health on my Mewtwo here. And as you can see, they do try and catch it onto the Lugia, but we were able to recognize that a catch was coming, and we're able to save all that energy and bring in Mamoswine, and Mamoswine hits very hard on the bulky Lugia, which is fantastic for us. If they Aeroblast here, that'll be doing a ton of damage. That does take us out, but honestly, that's okay, because we can bring in Moltres and get ahead on energy. If they get to a move, they're just getting to a Sky Attack, which they do here, and Moltres is pretty glassy, but it can tank a Sky Attack. So we tank the Sky Attack, and now we have a ton of energy, and there's really not a lot that wants to see a fully loaded Moltres. It's not going to go well for a lot of things, and they bring in a Groudon. We're going to be going straight for the Overheat on the Groudon. That does huge damage. They switch in the Melmetal, and we are ready. We have that Focus Blast loaded. Goodbye, Melmetal. And now we're able to outpace the Groudon, get to the Side Strike, and that is going to be a good game. One thing I really liked about this team is, I mean, to be fair, it's a pretty glassy team, but man, every Pokemon hits so hard. Hopping to the next match against Ho-Oh, which is the fire flying type that you should be running in Master League, but here we are running Moltres. We're able to hit it for massive damage there, and somehow we lose CMP. Not quite sure how that happened, considering we're a Mewtwo, but you know what? Game's broken. Fair enough. We're able to get the shield with the side strike, which is nice. And this time we actually win CMP as we're supposed to, which is very nice. And we're going to be able to take them out. We hard win the lead, which is very nice. They have Dialga. We are going to be building up, and they actually switch out. So they got worried about a Focus Blast. They switch out into their own Mewtwo, and now we're going to bring in Moltres. And this is very nice. This allows us to have some utility out of Moltres, and we're going to be able to save the Mamoswine for the Dialga. That does so much damage. Moltres actually managing to hang on, though. Good job, Moltres. And they shield. Yes, this is huge. They do a very nice job somehow knowing the counts for Moltres. Very well played by the opponent there. But the nice thing is we're going to bring in our own Mewtwo, force them to empty their energy, and then we can just bring in Mamoswine, and the game is over. In comes the Mamoswine. Dialga does have a lot of energy, but we are going to be able to get to the Bulldoze. They're not able to get to 2 Iron Heads in time, and Bulldoze is going to be taking care of that Dialga and giving us the win. So another win with the Moltres squad. Hopping into the next match against a really spicy pick in Heatran. Really don't see a lot of Heatran, so a very cool pick. We are again going to be going for the bait, hoping for the shield, and we get the shield. That's very nice. And at this point, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm pretty sure 2 Side Strikes probably kill, so I'm just going to go straight Side Strike here to get some guaranteed damage. And they correctly no-shielded, recognizing the second one was a Side Strike. We do shield up the Flamethrower, and now we can just go straight Side Strike in this matchup. I make a big mistake there. Definitely should have thrown before that, so I didn't have to expend the second shield. I was over-farming, and they do a very nice catch. So they're wanting to preserve that Heatran. They catch a Side Strike onto Giratina, and we have a very nice counter-response to Giratina with our Mamoswine. It's actually a Dragon Breath Giratina, not something you see every day. In the Master League, they're more often than not almost exclusively running Shadow Claw. So we take them out, and they are going to come back in with the Heatran. We try and get to the Avalanche. Unfortunately, we do lose CMP, and this is more than likely going to be taking us out. Flamethrower hurts quite a bit. We bring in the Moltres. Come on, farm down Moltres! And we're able to farm down. We have a big energy lead. They have Garchomp in the back. So unfortunately, Garchomp does resist the overheat, so we're forced to throw these Sky Attacks, and the Sky Attacks don't do a whole lot, but let's see what we can do in this matchup. Going for another Sky Attack, they let it go again, which is not great for us, and they finally throw. This is very nice. They're throwing, it's the Sand Tomb, and now I have to switch, and we're able to Psycho Cut down and get the win. Let's go. All right, hopping into the next match, the Mewtwo Mirror. I just have to really hope they don't have Shadow Ball and our fast moves desync because, again, absolutely perfect game. 0 flaws. We decide to call the bait here, and it's just a Side Strike. That is massive. Unfortunately, I overfarmed there, and now I'm forced to shield. Really not a great decision by me, as I do run a 14 attack Mewtwo, so I'm basically going to lose every single CMP. Since we snuck an extra Psycho Cut through, we should be able to win the 1 shield, and my opponent recognizes that and actually decides to let it go. So very nice, astute play by my opponent, and they're going to bring in a Palkia. I don't have a great response to a Palkia, so I'm just going to stay in with the Mewtwo, try and do as much damage as possible. I really need them to let this go, and they do, and it's CMP. Oh, that is so big for us. We definitely just let this go, and then we bring in the Mamoswine, and they have an Excadrill in the back, so things are looking a little rough for us, as Excadrill with Rock Slide, Moltres is going to have a very tough time against. We now go straight for the Bulldoze. I probably should have baited here because they have to shield at this point. And now we bring in the Moltres, and the Fire Spins really start to add up. I'm not sure who wins CMP here, so I'm going to shield up, and I'm going to try and win the CMP tie. And Excadrill wins the CMP over Moltres. I didn't know that. That's terrible for us. That one-shots, but we're now able to farm down, and because of the extra farm, we're able to get to an Avalanche, which is going to be taking care of Palkia and giving us the win. So even though I made a bit of a mistake there, ended up working out for us as we're able to get the win. All right, Mewtwo into Dragonite. And they're going to save swap into Mamoswine. And to be honest, I don't have a clean response to a Mamoswine save swap. So we're just going to go for a Psy Strike, see if we can do some damage, and hopefully get a shield. My thinking here is if I stay in, and if I can win switch, I'll be able to align my Mamoswine with their Dragonite endgame, and that's going to work out really, really nicely for me. Going for another Psy Strike here. We landed. That does huge damage. I was a little worried here. Does an Avalanche KO me? So I shield up. I wasn't sure if it did or not, but Mewtwo's fairly squishy, so I opt to be safe and shield it up. They have an Excadrill. We're going to go straight for the Focus Blast. We're going to punish them if they decide not to shield. Focus Blast, and they call it. They get absolutely destroyed. Oh my goodness. And for this point, the game is over. We're going straight for the Psy Strike. We get the shield, and it's CMP. Oh my goodness, yeah, this game is way past over. But the thing is, I really want to show off my Moltres. So you know what? We're going to bring in the Moltres. Why not? I mean, the game's over, but I just really wanted to show my Moltres. I was trying to make a Moltres feature, so I was like, you know what? We'll bring it in. Moltres can tank a Dragon Claw, so that's pretty nice. We're going to be going for the Sky Tech. Let's see how much this does to Dragonite. And now we can bring in the Mamoswine, and the opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. All right, hopping into the next match here, leading Mewtwo into another Togekiss. Again, pretty okay lead for us, and they're going to save swap into Garchomp, and we're going to bring in our Mamoswine. Now, this is the Mudshot variant, so they're probably... I was going to say probably running Outrage and Earth Power, but for some reason running Mudshot and Sand Tomb. Typically, if you're running Sand Tomb, I'd recommend it on Dragon Tail, but hey, that works to our advantage in this particular match. Here I'm thinking they have to go for the big move, and they do. So in hindsight, I definitely should have shielded that, but unfortunately, the HomeSlice who was battling was not aware of that. They just go straight Sand Tomb there. That's fine. We don't really have to respect the Sand Tomb. And my goal here is just to leave with a ton of energy so we can apply a lot of pressure. And they have a Kyogre in the back. This is so bad. We need to take this out with the Mewtwo. We absolutely have to. We're going for another Psy Strike. Please no shield this. If they shield this game's over and we lose. And they let it go. Yes, they bring in the Togekiss, and we have Moltres in the back. They saved a shield for their Charmer, and they paid dearly thanks to Moltres. So all in all, I had a ton of fun running Moltres. It is definitely not worth building for the Master League. I had one built for Raid, so I decided to try it out. It's far too glassy, and it just doesn't have nearly enough meta wins, so I wouldn't recommend building one, but I had a ton of fun using it and trying to get some wins, mainly in spite of it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.